Vamos ver, rapaz, about 200.
Good afternoon, and we are back with another Galen Eagles afternoon athletics talk, where we talk everything sports, everything Galen University Eagles, and we just get down to the nitty gritty. And we have two guests joining us this afternoon, two Galen Eagles. I think Miss Galvez is no stranger to anybody with Ghana Galen University. I know she was no stranger to any of us at Galen while I was there back in 2014 to 2017. Um, but I'm sure she'll be sharing a lot about herself and her experience in afternoon. And we have phones joining us as well. Brandon, Miss Galvez, good afternoon. How would it feel? You're on mute, Miss Galvez.
Okay. I'm saying it's very hot, but I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Glad to have you here this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm just going to open the floor now. India, thank you once again before we continue for joining us. This is my lovely co-host, India Gordon. Um, he always ensures that we have the games together for the afternoon. We pick our guests' minds a bit, and we get to learn you all a bit more. Miss Galvez, just share a bit about yourself and where your passion for sports started.
Okay. For one, my passion for sports started from I was maybe from the time I could walk, because in my family we are 14 and about 11 of us play sports. The other three don't play sports. Everybody plays sports. And where I grew up in Punta Gorda, we live right beside the basketball court, the football field. So even if you didn't want to play sports, you joined sports. So that was where my passion for sports began. And then primary school and high school. That's one way you could have shown yourself when you played your sports, no? So that's where the sports came from with me. It started with my family. And I was a teacher for 29 years. I decided to resign after. I
Yeah.
got tired, I got run down, and I didn't want to stay in the classroom and not produce the way how I could produce. So I just decided to step out and move on to not better things, but brighter things.
We have Miss Galvez all the way from Punta Gorda representing the South today. And you, Brandon, where did your passion for sports start?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. For me, my passion started at a very young age. Also, I believe as a as of I could have started walking, I started gaining the love for the sport. Another drive that pushed me is watching my sisters play softball. Like every time they were going out of the country, bringing back medals, and I said to myself, I want to do that too. So we started a little
Mhm.
competition, but they still have me out. I'm still catching up to them. But other than that, that what gave me the drive, and the support of your parents.
Absolutely. Support of parents. And you said something very important. That's gonna lead me into my first question. Soon. How important do you think it is for parents to support their children in sports as a development tool? And I'll pose that question to you first, Miss Galvez.
Okay. Like I said, when I started playing sports, I had three other sisters along with
Mhm,
me who played sports. And with my mom, if we played basketball, then you have to work out.
mhm,
So in December, when it is at 5 a.m., you got to get up.
mhm,
And if you don't get up, then you cannot show up for workouts in the night. And she will not allow the coach for you to play just
mhm.
because you are good. We were very good. If you would research on us, they call us the Sanchez girls, and my mom was always there in all our sports. And then, like for me, I have my son who plays football also. And
Mhm.
I believe that no sports pays in the
Mhm.
sense that you could get scholarship, you could better off yourself. And if you see that you have a child that is very athletic,
Right.
because we have the type that are bright and athletic, and we also have the type that are slow learners, but very athletic. Doesn't matter which is which. As parents, you look at that child and you know that, okay, this
Mhm.
could be my winning ticket. Not my winning ticket to fame and fortune, but this is the way out that I don't have to worry
Right.
about school fees and things like that. So the involvement of the parent is very, very important. Like my son, Buddy, who went to Galen also, uh, from the time he could walk, he's playing football.
Mhm.
And football scholarship sent him to study abroad. So the parents, it's very, very important.
Right. And you, Brandon, what has that been like for you?
Very huge. Growing up in my younger days, my mom had a little fear of me playing football because she was afraid that I would, get hurt playing among the older guys and things. So she was always a bit afraid. She used to go to the games, but whenever a player would come up and things, she told me that she would like cover her face. She don't want to see what happened and things like that. But she was always there supporting. That also gave me the drive and push forward until I actually got a scholarship from Galen and my
Mhm.
previous organization, Sacred Heart.
You both said something that we're gonna jump in for sure, and it's one of the reasons why we're here. I've been a scholarship recipient. Miss Galvez, Brandon. Sports really is that development tool for us to get an education, and we
Mhm.
do so by means of securing a scholarship. How has that been for you, Miss Galvez, and how has that helped you to garner your education?
Well, actually, I didn't get a sports scholarship. I didn't get a sports scholarship. But
We need to change that, right, Miss Galvez? We need to go back.
yeah, no, no. But I got like like a partial payment to do also, but it wasn't a sports
Okay,
scholarship.
okay.
Okay, we sent ourselves to school, but Buddy got a sports scholarship. Buddy got a sports scholarship thanks to Galen. And when your kids are on sports scholarship, it's a big, big help
Right.
because then at the end of the day, the price that you would need to be paying,
Mm-hmm.
for some of us, we don't know where that money would have come from. And like
Right.
presently now, he's at Northwood University doing his master's. At the
Mm-hmm.
age of 21, he's doing his master's at Northwood, and that's because of scholarship also, and it's
Mm-hmm.
a football scholarship. So we only need to pay a certain amount of thing not related to the school either. So,
Right.
and that's about it. So he's actually getting a master's degree with little financial assistance from us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big help getting a scholarship. It's a big help for the family.
And how has that been like for you, Brandon, receiving a scholarship?
Huge on my end. I mean, it took a lot of financial strain off my older siblings, my family members. Um, Going to Sacred Heart, it was I got the scholarship there first, and then coming to Galen, they offered me it also, and the price range are very different. So it also helped me huge in finding the remaining 25% that I have to pay. And they also like offer the payment plan, so it's something that also helps. You don't have to pay like everything in one lump. You can do
Mm-hmm.
it monthly. So that has been very huge in
Well, I remember my time when I was at Galen and I was watching some of the women's volleyball games, and Miss Galvez was one of those persons on the court that she dep on the court when she dep on the court. Because the first thing, Miss Galvez, I'm the loudest on the court. And she
Mm-hmm.
make you know, now make you think because she did a little bit more that you got it over she, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
It was always good seeing Miss Galvez on the court. What on the court for you, Miss Galvez?
Well, at the time at Galen, well, everybody was a lot younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that time, Galen, when it came to sports, Galen was more about male basketball at the time. Have like a
Right.
lot of females when it came to sports, but it was good. And for me, who likes to win, it
Mm-hmm.
was always sometimes frustrating because
Yeah.
sometimes I would look at the younger ones them and they were not serious.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's just me. I like to win, even though I know I can't win. I will push as much so that
Yeah.
even if I don't win, I come close to win or I go down fighting. And so like during the games, I would just like lecture those girls and tell them plain if you don't want to be here, then you got to go. But that was just it because and with all the push and the motivation, even after I left, some of the same girls were there and
Mm-hmm.
they continued from there and they start winning. But I just had to. I was low because I had to motivate them, and I know the sport, and I studied the rules. So
Mm-hmm.
when the ref called, so Coach Chai would say, "Yeah, yeah."
Brandon, how has your season been going thus far? What's your experience like at Galen University thus far?
My season has been going great. I mean, due to, for what reason I don't know. We didn't have the amount of players we needed to participate in the athlete this year. It was a bit sad, It was my last tournament for Galen because I'm finishing up, but it was a bit sad. But we just need to, continue moving forward. The next set of guys that will be coming in just need to, you know, come in, do the work, and get it done. But on the other hand, playing in the with the Pirates, it was a very mm, roller coaster season, I could say. Up and down, a lot of back and forth, but we did manage to reach the
Yeah.
finals, but dropped short of the final prize, which championship. But other
Yeah.
than that, it was a very roller coaster season.
You know what I like about what you shared just now is the fact that even though there was no participation in the athlete because of a shortage of players, you are still being afforded your education, and that speaks to Galen's um, interest and willingness to invest in our development of our young people through sports. So that's commendable in itself. India, well,
Yes, right.
what do you have for us today?
Okay. So the icebreaker that we're going to be playing is basically each of us is going to take a turn describing a district or a place in Belize, and it's the rest's job to try and figure out what that person is describing. So basically, trying your luck. So I'm going to go first, and then you guys can drop in. Um, the first word I have is sugarcane.
Orange walk.
Correct, Miss Galvez. All right, if you want to go now, Miss Galvez.
Hmm. I will say one word and then you guess.
Okay.
Dollar coin.
Hmm. Dollar coin.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, messed up pa naman, Miss Galvez.
That's why I said Belmont, but that even a district now.
PG, where you going to PG?
Oh man.
Go-
Oh man.
Well, I never think of that.
Oh my.
I never, even if you didn't know, I'm from PG and you know I will big up something for PG.
Yes.
That was a good one. I would have never me guess that one day. I mean, try associate dollar coin with where I feel like all the money there.
Okay.
um, like I say, pontoon.
Kayo.
Don't get it.
Okay.
Okay, the drums.
Dangaga.
Could be PG too, no?
Huh?
Yeah.
That could be PG too.
Yeah, but we don't have it as much. We have lots of drummings, but we don't have it as much, and I could say as powerful beating as Grieger.
Yeah.
Sam quick. Yeah.
We have an next one for you.
All right.
Switchy weather.
Huh?
Iffy or switchy weather?
If it was
The weather just iffy.
Belmopan,
Come on, bright
Yeah.
Miss Galvez.
Yeah, Belmopan, it could be 12 o'clock in the afternoon and Sunday.
Yeah.
It have to, for some reason, it have to rain. If it not rain,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
you
sure.
good. But I want to take this one and see how we could push with that thought process a little bit more and take it to the villages. So I want to start with one right now. A show.
Crooked tree.
That's correct.
Oh, okay, go. Oh, no, I get this. Okay, the village, I'll give you a clue. The village would be in Toledo.
All right.
You know, Toledo have a lot of villages,
Lot
right?
wise. Never been to one. I said, well, walk off, but
So I'll give you an easy one. Lobantun.
I know if I that day. Man, all the villages that they call. No, right before you enter into the cutoff into PG, like before you reach Jacintoville area or come outside of there.
But I know directions. We want the name of the village.
San Pedro, Colombia.
Somebody can Google.
That's San Pedro, Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're close, but then I'm never sure. I mean, if you
Mm-hmm.
confirm it, I mean, just need to confirm it.
Yeah,
That only village
so
to
that
where I
would
really
be
go.
probably more, right?
You see? Mm-hmm. Technology.
You got one for you, Brandon. Where you from, Brandon? Originally.
Believe.
Judgeville. Judgeville, Kayo.
Okay. That the reason why he get pontoon fast.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe try push this discussion forward now. I will ask you a question. Um, if you had the opportunity to be the minister of sports for 90 days, what are the first thing you would have address about sports in Belize? Miss Galvez?
Sporting facilities. Sporting facilities. That would be my first because we have athletes.
Right.
We have athletes that are born with the skills, and we lack facilities. We lack facilities. Only some places have certain good facilities, and we don't even have a what you would call the multi sporting facilities. We could do track and field, basketball, and those things. Last time we went to Merida, we went to this facility. As long as your parents pay tax,
Mm-hmm.
it's free. Anybody go there, so that means it's for everybody. So I would first thing would be facilities and facilities. And I would
Mm-hmm.
start from the districts and towns that needs it the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. 90 days.
And you, Brandon, your first 90 days as Minister of Sports. So this Honorable Brandon Jones, you
Mm.
have all the power in your hands to make an impact on sports in the first 90 days in the office. What are the first thing you either do?
I'm also in support of what Miss Galvez said, and to add to it, I would want to bring on the business community more to support the athletes because, like mentioned before, we do have the talent, but sometimes it's the lack of um, facilities and finance for in order for the athletes to show their skills 100% or to actually get a professional contract out of Belize.
Yeah.
Mm. But Brandon, I think that, you know, the businesses, I think they support a lot, you know. But I think it's how nowadays they go about soliciting from the businesses, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because we promote, if we solicit from certain business, then we promote that business.
Mm-hmm.
But for some business, they collect from them and they never hear the name in an advertisement, a thank you or whatever. So that's why I think it's kind of hard for like
Yeah.
these
Yeah,
small
that's true. That's
businesses
true.
to want to support. And also in my 90 days Brighton,
Mm-hmm.
I would sweep the useless people in the system too, because we have those that are just there for the PD.
I agree to upon on Miss Galvez.
Yeah, that would be the
Because
first 90 days, because then some of them are just sitting there and waiting for 15th and end of the month.
dead weight.
And yeah, and very late. We struggle when it comes. I am serious when it comes to sports, especially
Mhm.
when it comes to like sports council. We ending in June, May. The
Mhm.
the the system is always confusing,
Yeah.
you know. So it's like we just can't get it right, and if we don't start from the bottom, then we will always have problem at the top.
And the sad thing to that is that like the person that's always in the under the hammer are the athletes.
Yep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I could
that's
tell.
one of our, yeah, and that's why like sometimes, you know, people have a lot to say when it comes to Football Federation of Belize, but when you understand how they work, then you would understand that Football Federation of Belize does a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They do a lot for Belize. Some people just look at it and say, oh, trouble, and they just do this, do that. Football Federation, they take care of lots of things. Like for me, I used to manage the female national A team,
Mm-hmm.
and the type of money you spend,
Mm-hmm.
the type of time they invest, you know, the type of training they get. Yes, they need a lot of work and a lot of help,
Mm-hmm.
but the support is there. You know, so people
Mm-hmm.
look at the federation, and when softball go, they will complain how federation can spend this money and
Mm-hmm.
softball can't. That is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Sports council is two different things. But if all
Right.
of them would collaborate and say, you know
Mm-hmm.
what, I will lean on this one for this, I will lean on this one for that. Because you notice now, the Minister of Sports is leaning a lot on Football Federation. So
Mm-hmm.
when primary school football and high school football, then they
Mm-hmm.
lean on the federation, and the federation put in their 2 cents. So
Mm-hmm.
the others, they can do that too, so that sports can grow. We have a lot of talent, Brighton, and we have talent going to waste like crazy.
Absolutely agree.
Yep.
Certainly, certainly. Very, very valid points. Salient points indeed. So it pushes me to the next question. If we're saying that we want to see the changes in terms of like the facilities and the financing and getting the investors, the businesses to invest more, eventually there will be an end product, perhaps a shift in culture. Share with me a bit, Miss Galvez, what you think would be the positive outcomes of investing more in sports across the country?
For example, it's summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
High school is on break, primary school is on break, countrywide.
Mm-hmm.
What will our high school athletes be doing? What is being offered to our high school athletes? On our summer camp, 5 to 13, because most people want to make money. Summer camp, 5 to 13. What happened to our teenagers? We have a thing in our country that
Mm-hmm.
we we take care of our kids from preschool to maybe standard 3, standard 4. After that,
Right.
we look at it and we say, they are big enough so they could handle.
Right.
The time they need us, that's the time we slack off from them.
Mm-hmm.
If, like now, if we would provide sporting activities, camps,
Mm-hmm.
and not just camps, if I live in Belize, I don't want the camp in Belize. Take me to another district.
Mm-hmm.
Take them to another district for 2 weeks, and we learn our sports, learn self-respect, we learn all different type of things. So when I come back
Right.
in 2 weeks, I will not just go to a camp, I will compete against people in that district. When I
Yeah.
come back to my home, then I have done a lot. I have socialized, I have
Right.
learned. So the investment has to be we have to put strategic things for different things because we know our teenagers are straying. We know our teenagers are dying. And summer is here, we will have more deaths. That's we will. It's not that we don't want to or anything like that. But these
Mm-hmm.
kids will stray.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at Mr. Stamp, he's a teenager and he died.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If we had something, because people would look at it and say, oh, the parents, they don't this, the parents, they don't that. It's not about that. It's a village that raised a child.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody should be looking out for everybody else.
Right.
Maybe the mom has to go and work, so she has to leave the child. So the neighbor should be looking out. We need to stop pointing fingers at people,
Mm-hmm.
and as a people, we need to do our part because we can go far when it comes to sports if we only invest. Simple camps, simple trips,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and keep our boys and girls together. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not just the boys straying, we have girls straying too. So we keep them together, we do as much as we can. And we don't need to think about, all that finance, $30 a week, this, that, and so on.
Right.
Right there,
Right.
sports also come in, and right there, the private sector come in also.
Absolutely.
BTB is right there, investing in music and bringing in international players. And that thing and all. We have people who can sing and write songs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, need to focus on sports and uplifting our kids. That's it.
You said a mouthful there, Miss.
Mhm.
Certainly appreciate those perspectives. Um, Especially as it relates to our young people who we see falling victims to murders, crimes, homicides every single day. I mean,
Mhm.
we have to be able to shift the pendulum and be able what we have and strategize and organize more meaningful environments for young people to be able to develop and go in the right path. Brandon, how has that been for you? How has sports molded you to stay on track throughout your early life?
Which has been huge. Growing up, even family members kind of doubted and thought I would have gone a different path. I mean, I grew up and have seen everything in the streets, everything that you can possibly think about. I've seen. I don't want to go into the details with those, but I've seen everything. I mean, and I just said that I don't want that. That's not for me. I need to put my energy into because I have a lot of energy, so I need to use that into something more positive. So from
Mhm.
very young, we had our little summer camp here in the village, and
Mm-hmm.
from my generation, that was the last set of guys that was in the summer camp. And recently, another gentleman here in the village is starting up another summer camp for
Mm-hmm.
youth, youth, teens, and so on. So I have offered to support him in any way that I can.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that I have my training with my club in the evening at morning time. So whenever time I'm free and they are planning to start it, I will be there in support of them.
Awesome, awesome. I
Um,
mean,
I have a question for Miss Galvez, guys.
Okay.
I know you mentioned that your son is out internationally playing football because of a scholarship. And I know you're a parent. So, what do you have to tell other parents about maybe them being skeptical about getting their children into the sporting life, or debating on whether or not they should allow their kids to go internationally because of a scholarship? What do you have to tell them about that?
In the when it comes to when you have that offer and you can handle it, you do the best you could because it wasn't all that pretty and beautiful before he got that scholarship. It's sacrifice. It's a lot of sacrifice. Um, when boys are partying, I make sure body does not party because if this is your goal, then this is what you are working towards. And I kept on reminding him, you know what? We don't have money to send you international, but you have the skills to go international. This is your dream. This is what you want. So you got to keep on going.
mm-hmm.
And that is what we did. Some days he would be upset with his dad because his dad would come down hard sometimes. And both of us, we pushed and we pushed, and you know, the succession came. And
Mm-hmm.
now he is out here. But it all boils down to the parent and the child. Because one of our biggest thing is that we want to play, but we wait until we go on the field to train.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to play a sport, I will practice before so that I can be on that team, so that I can be called. A lot of parents they are easily disappointed. Oh,
Yeah.
they didn't look my child this that. Find another avenue. Maybe they didn't call the child because the child was not fit. They were not in shape. They were not whatever, whatever. So you just have to keep on pushing in. They can't give up. They have to be there. I'll tell you something. Both of my sons used to play, Buddy and Nathan. But the problem with my son Nathan, he was too clean. And if he's playing football and you rub against him, the game is finished. He wants to come off because somebody dirty his clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but when it comes to Buddy, the rule in football, if it is lightning and thunder, no game. But Buddy will still walk to the field to check just in case. So when it comes to football, he was very determined, very determined. His punishment was washing up plate if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. That was his worst nightmare, washing
I
the
don't
plate.
know, but not like wash up dirty
If
dishes.
you don't wash the plate, you miss a whole week of football. You can't afford that. So that's and then that was everybody. Everybody he have when it comes to my family, everybody push from my family side and from
Mm-hmm.
my kids and their father. They push their brother. We are always there. We bring our own funds. And when body started Galen,
Mm-hmm.
the girls they would come out to the games that it's not even Galen playing. And one thing before, right on with Galen, when we started off, we weren't ready, but we went to games and fans. We had fans. We could handle.
One in university, we always got the best fans.
We always we don't give up. And
Yeah.
when Brandon spoke about football, I remember when these guys play football, we didn't have a football team, but the volleyball team, the basketball team, and the little for the football join together and they
Mm-hmm.
go and play football. You see all type of plays on the field. But they played. They didn't win, but they enjoyed themselves. We argue because we feel like this happened and that happened, but we know we couldn't win. But one thing with Galen, we had very good fun.
And I certainly think we'll get there for sure in the near future with the expansion of programs and stuff like that. We see the women's volleyball building out more now as well. And we have a lot of athletes who are just waiting for the opportunity. And so certainly we will see some developments happening at Galen University in the near future for sure, in terms of
Mhm.
solidifying the programs that already
Mhm.
exist as it's about putting the pieces together to ensure that we elevate to the next level. And it will reach the point where I think we will be so good that we will have to start seeking competition out of the country if the other
Exactly.
universities then start to catch up.
Exactly. Because with Galen, they have come a long way. Because when we played, yes, we won some games, but we didn't reach finals. And not long after I left, the girls they start to pick up the coach Star.
Mhm.
We have to put him on top of the list because he never give up. If he cannot coach the sport, he will find somebody that can, and he
Right.
will be at every practice.
Hmm.
He will be at every practice supporting, and he's there. Not
Right.
because he's not coaching, he's not. No, he's there at every practice. So that is one good thing about Coach Star, and he keep up with everybody. You leave Galen, and he still keep up with you. So
Shout out.
so
Yeah.
well.
Shout out to Coach Star. I was not the best basketball player when I was playing basketball. I was tall, athletic, but Coach Star saw something in me that he could have utilized on the court, and he saw that the passion I had for athletics, and he was like, that is enough for me to invest in. So shout out to Coach Star because he sees beyond what we're able to
Mhm.
sometimes, especially the years of experience that he has in sports. When I met him back in 2010, he came in to help the national team with Matthew Smiling and Mr. Fred Garcia and Fred Gabriel. And we were playing basketball at that time. Fast forward 4 years later, Coach Star is now the head coach for basketball at Galen University. I mean, you look at
Mhm.
how things circle right around and come back.
Mhm.
Certainly, he knows how to set the foundation, which I think is important for any athlete to have. You know, that drive, that discipline, and just being dedicated to your craft. It doesn't matter which sport you play. Once you have those qualities, you're able to excel in your sport if you have that discipline. Brandon, I'd like for you to share with us a bit what your daily looks like as a football player. I mean, every sport has its own set of workouts, routines. Every athlete has their own, like, I don't know, their own preference in terms of how they work out. If you prefer workout early in the morning, if you're an evening person, share with us what your workout routine looks like on the day.
Okay, so for me, I have two different workout sessions. Like when I'm with my club team Verdes, we usually do one session in the evening based on the schedule. They would provide the schedule like over the weekend for us,
Mhm.
and we would go with that schedule. But like for instance, on a Monday or Tuesday, my morning would start basically around 6. I would take a 4 or 5 miles run in the up the Mountain Pine Ridge Road.
Mhm.
Come back, do some stretches, and then I would do a little weights. From there, after everything, I warm down, stretch up, um, fresh up, take a bath, eat something healthy, and start hydrating again. Drinking a lot of fluids.
When you
And
say eat something healthy, I know that for certain sports, for certain sports, people would eat more protein because they want bulk up and they want like for bodybuilding and maybe like rugby and stuff like that. They want get a bit bigger. For what that look like?
For me, well, it's based on everybody body. Um, it it reacts to different to food differently. You
Mm-hmm.
know, everybody body reacts differently. For me, I would like probably do a little shakers, banana, papaya, um, strawberries, everything for a shake. And then I would just eat like a little something after that, probably a little cheese, eggs, eggs for the protein, probably a little potato or something, add a little veggies, greens into it just to make it balance. That's for
Right.
me, but other people, other athletes would try something different because their body react different to it.
For sure, for sure. And Miss Galvez, I'm sure you could speak about your son's regimen. What does that look like?
Mm. Well, with him, he wakes up early in the morning and he would run the ring road.
Mm-hmm.
He and Jovan and his other friends, they would run the ring road like 2 times in the
Mm-hmm.
morning. And then he drink a lot of water. Well, you have to be behind him to drink water because that's one of his biggest things. And then in the evening, he would go to work out. But like sometimes after they go to the ring road, he would go to the football field and
Mm-hmm.
he would practice certain type of kicks, so certain type of how to score certain goals and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, in the evening, he would go to work out maybe from 6 to 9 in the
Yeah.
night. And if he has a game on Sunday or Saturday, he's not going out to party. He's not taking any drink because
Mm-hmm.
one good boy would turn him up. So he doesn't. He's not really into that like that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
body, he knew what he wants. So and he kept his body in shape. And as he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about eating like healthy and things like that, we were athletes at that. We were athletes, and in our time, we didn't put it off as protein and this
Mm-hmm.
and that, but we had chicken, so we had a lot of eggs, but we
Mm-hmm.
didn't know we were having so much protein.
Right.
We had a lot of junk food, which gives us a lot of staples, and we eat a
Mm-hmm.
lot of meat. So we actually were eating healthy. It
Mm-hmm.
was not like now when they put it in your plate, fruits, vegetables, this, that. No, but we were
Mm-hmm.
actually eating healthy. And I
Yeah.
believe we were a lot stronger than athletes today. I think we were a lot
I
stronger.
definitely think the more organic food that you all consume
Yeah.
is better.
And sometimes I watch players play, especially when it comes to females. And when they bump them, some of them like they drop so hard, like damn, and for me, I was a very small player. Like India, I was very small like India.
Mm-hmm.
And I played, and I was very strong. I had two sisters stronger than me, but we eat healthy, only that
Mm-hmm.
it was not classified in the plate like present. When you go to camps and so on, you eat
Right.
healthy and things like that. So
Yeah.
uh,
All right,
Yes, sir.
Miss
One more
Galvez, and
thing.
yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, just one more thing. And like for a week, like if you have like double sessions, something that could also help recover the body is like a ice bath. Like
mhm.
That's
after
right.
those hefty workouts, at
Mm-hmm.
10, 12 minutes, and that should help also.
At
Right.
least once a week and my bath would do well because I bought a barrel for body and we
Mm-hmm.
put ice in there and he and his friends take turn because we can't buy the big
Blue
thing,
barrel ice.
but the blue barrel with ice and then get in it. Yeah,
That the official Belize ice bath right there,
yeah,
and it works really well. I mean, it really does work well.
yeah,
Important for recovery,
yeah.
especially
That's
after
right.
you put your body through those and
Hmm.
morning workouts and evening workouts.
Yeah.
But before we log off here, Miss Galvez, your final words to any athlete looking at this podcast. How would you motivate them? Give them your last few thoughts, and same with you, Brandon, after Miss Galvez.
Okay. Well, to any athlete that is out there, you have a lot of people who have set the bar, a lot of young people who are setting the bar about getting scholarship, working hard. If you want it, you can achieve it. You don't care how bad the days are, you think positive. No matter how negative you have a coach, you think positive because you have a certain goal and it can be achieved. There's no reason why it can't be achieved. You can go to this one for help. Nothing is wrong with asking for help. So you do not give up. And before I go off, I want to say I didn't get the opportunity to thank Dr. Aird for certain things when it came to my child body. So I just want Dr. Air to know that she's such a, you know, no matter what the situation, she answers. You can
Mm-hmm.
text her 11, 12 at night, she gives you a response. So with my son, end of the time in Galen, Dr. Aird was there, and I could have spoken to her, text her, and she responded. So Dr. Aird, I appreciate you. I'm never gonna forget you. Dr. Barrow, you may tire me the Galen, but yeah, educator.
You, Brandon.
So for the athletes, upcoming athletes, you just have to put in the work, man. If you know you to get called up for the national team or what's not, just don't go there like the day and expect the work one easy. Put in the work before you reach there. Once you already put in the work, it was easier for the coaches there, because then you are ready for the tactical part of the game. So just work, work, work.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Um, Thank you very much, Miss Galvez, for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Brandon, for taking the time out for joining us. And of course, India, my co-host, for always being here to support the conversation and the discussion. Is where we highlight our Galen Eagles, our athletes, really and truly bring the spirit to the campus and make the experience for everyone a memorable experience. Galen University, we always excel. We
They
excel.
always fly high.
That's right. At school, in the professional field, on the court, that's what we are about. So until next time, take care. And Miss Galvez, Brandon, keep doing out.
Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.